Hello, good afternoon to you. Welcome to Hard Facts 92.3 Nigeria Info and Hearing Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. 12 minutes gone past 3 p.m. and you're welcome to the show once again. It's the Thursday edition, the day that comes before Friday, which is a very good day, by the way. Friday, that is, because it officially signals the start to the weekend. And I do love the weekends, as I presume you do as well. Well, I hope today has been a productive one for you, especially if your day started quite early. Maybe just about ramping up, talking about work or business. If yours is just about kicking off, in the manner of speaking, mine is. I do wish you the very best. And while you're at it, wrapping up or getting things started, endeavor to keep listening to 92.3 Nigeria Info, here in Port Harcourt, the number one talk news and sports radio station. From now till 7, conversation does continue, or till about 7 at least. 7 o'clock, we got football coming up, or the sports show rather, with the sports gang extra time. They revert to their regular 7 p.m. time today, I do presume, because we had Champions League night Tuesday and Wednesday, yesterday, so they started a little later on. But today is Thursday, it's Europa League games, and so other teams across Europe are going to be plying their trade today. Arsenal, of course, being one of those teams. 9 p.m. is kickoff time for that game. Arsenal are away against Olympiacos. I'm sure you can catch a whiff of that game some way or another. Alright, so that's it. On the show today, once again, a few matters on the agenda to be discussed. I've got side comments in a moment, random stories, and a random thought of mine on those, which will not be discussed now, of course, but during the open season segment. After that, we've got I've got a rant coming up, something in my mind. I'll be expressing some thoughts on it, and I'd like to get your take on mine till 4 p.m. 4 p.m. we've got business news, but after all, we're your number one talk news and sports station. So news comes at 4 p.m. business, that is. After that, where does Ibori loot go? Where does it go? Who deserves to get it? You know, who is most deserving of the Ibori loot, or, well, the Ibori loot that's been repatriated, because it's generated some controversy, and not a few folks are talking about it, about who deserves to get it. Is it the federal government? Should it be used for federal roads or federal projects, or should it go to Delta State? Well, the story here, the Daily Post, Ibori's loot should be used for Delta victims, Serap tells FG. Well, the Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has kicked against the disbursement of the £4.2 million recovered from the former governor of Delta State, James Ibori, for construction of roads. You might remember the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, during the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the UK and Nigeria, said the funds will be used to finance the second Niger Bridge, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, and Abuja-Kano Expressway. Serap, in a statement released on Wednesday, said the loot should be used for the direct benefit of the victims of corruption in Delta State. The statement in part read, quote, the Ibori loot estimated to be £100 million, including the planned return of £4 million, should be used for the direct benefit of the victims of corruption in Delta State. The rights group vowed to take legal action to ensure victims are not denied justice, will pursue appropriate legal action to ensure that the victims are not denied justice and remedies, the statement added. So I'll be speaking with SERAP's representative, Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare, will join me via phone from Lagos for that conversation today. Who should get the repatriated Ibori loot? It comes up in the 4 o'clock hour. Takes us till 5. The news update comes up at 5 p.m. And after that, we're going to discuss a very sensitive matter. Hopefully it never happens to anyone, but sadly it does. We have victims of defilement, victims of rape. If it does happen, what should a victim do, especially to ensure that they're able to get justice eventually? Because a magistrate court sitting in Port Harcourt has discharged a 50-year-old man, Dixon Uwo, accused of defiling a 13-year-old girl in 2019. Chief Magistrate Amaka Amanze, during her judgment, discharged the defendant for lack of proper investigation by the police. and lack of convincing evidence. Shortly after the judgment was given, a lawyer with the International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA, in Rivers State, Esther Corriente Acho advised family members of sexual abuse victims and the victims themselves to keep intact their evidence or evidences. And here's what she had to say regarding that matter. Just a moment. All right, here we are.
Even after the courts gave the judgment, the court cautioned the defendant that he may have won the but it is between him and his court. He didn't go because he didn't commit, but because of consistency in the evidence of the witnesses. When cases of this nature arises, they should ensure their documents, their exhibits, their evidence are clear and that they are in one note. For example, in this particular case, all the witnesses were not saying the same thing, which is what affected this case seriously. So all the witnesses must be in one note, must say the same thing, and the incident must tally from the evidences before the court.
All right, what evidence exactly would be required to prove such a case in court? What evidence do the victims and possibly the family members, relatives, or friends need to ensure is preserved to ensure that they will get justice eventually? These and other related matters we'll be discussing on the show in the 5 o'clock hour. I'll be joined, of course, by Esther Chokorienta with FIDA, who was very much involved in this matter, I suppose. She'll join me in the 5 o'clock hour for the conversation after the news update. Headlines 5:30 and major news at 6. Open season afterwards. If you missed out on any matter discussed on the show, I'll take your thoughts during that period till about 6:30, I suppose. So pretty much that's the show today. Any changes, you will find out. Simply stay tuned. Keeping the boat rolling right now with some side comments, random stories, random thoughts I came across as I checked out the news, which will not be discussed now, of course. And some good news here. More than 2,000 persons are expected to take part in and benefit from the ongoing 5 days free medical outreach organized by the Obi Lulubriggs Foundation in conjunction with Ogbako Ikwere, USA, Canada, and hosted by Ikwere Local Government Council. I like to say that this is a piece of good news, really. It's always heartwarming when people, especially people who are can't find the right word right now, who are blessed, I suppose, works here, giving back to society and then helping people who may not have as much. It's heartwarming. I'm sure this will go a long way in providing medical help to those who otherwise may not have been aware that they require such help or may not have been able to afford it, even in the event that they were aware. And besides appreciating this gesture, it's also good, I think it's also necessary rather, to call out to others as well, other successful people in society, groups and organizations, to also play their role in reaching out to people around them. You know, it could be providing healthcare, it could be providing legal services, it could be providing food, even shelter in somewhere, whatever it is. Let's clothing, education, facilities, or items or tools. You know, let's just do what we can to improve the lives of other people. Very important. Very, very cool indeed. Let's see, what has caught my attention on the news today? This one was a hilarious one, really. A state high court sitting in Port Harcourt has sentenced one Chief Vincent Nnamdi Otto to 1 month imprisonment for contempt of court. Chief Nnamdi Otto had while responding to cross-examination from the witness box pardon me, on a disputed land suit, shouted at the presiding judge, requesting to know his interest in the matter. Apparently, nobody explained to Chief Vincent Nnamdi Otto how courts work, really. Maybe he thought the judge was his traditional ruler. Well, Chief Nnamdi Otto further then walked out of the witness box, hit his palm on the floor of the court, threatened to deal with all and petitioned President Muhammadu Buhari on the matter. I wonder why he ended there. Well, I wasn't in court, but I think it would have worked for him if he had threatened to petition the international community as well. That would have worked. That would have worked. You know, President Buhari belongs to the APC, and this is a PDP state, at least so they say. That's why it didn't work. If he had mentioned petitioning the international community and the ICC, yeah, that would have worked. That is the mistake that he made. Well, presiding judge Justice Adolfo Zenebele, after watching the drama, and I wish I was there to watch it, ordered that Chief Nnamdi Otto be put back in the box and should show cause why he should not be committed to prison for contempt. And Justice Zenebele, after listening to the presentations from all the lawyers who condemned his attitude, remanded him in prison for 1 month before adjourning the matter to 17th of May 2021 for continuation of cross-examination. Yep, I'm not sure there will be enough space in prison for him to hit the ground. You know, from the descriptions we hear of what happens in our prisons, especially the correctional center here in Port Harcourt, if he has enough space to stand, I'm going to be happy for him. Not sure there'll be enough space for him to hit the ground or even threaten anyone for that matter. But once again, next time Chief Nnamdi Otto should threaten to petition the international community. That works, I suppose. That works. The Senate has resolved to remove provisions of the law as contained in the Police Act, Federal Character Law, Electoral Act, Labour Act, political parties' constitutions that infringe on the rights of women in Nigeria, and that's a good step. And I hope it's not just big talk, you know, and honourables and co just trying to exercise their vocal cavities. I hope it actually means something substantive, really. You know, for example, in the police, there's something about the Police Act, even though I think that's been amended, but there was something, or read something about a single woman not being able to, not allowed to get pregnant or something like that, you know. And there's no doubt that some of those laws, or all of those laws, by the way, are quite obnoxious, really, and quite insults, you know, the sensibilities of females and dehumanize them. And I hope that as soon as possible, those sections in our various laws are expunged or amended, you know, as quickly as possible. And the Rivers State Ministry of Health has received about 150, I think, 1,000 doses of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccines for distribution in the state. A source at the Ministry of Health told our correspondent the vaccines arrived to state yesterday through the Port Harcourt International Airport in Magua and was received by the State Commissioner for Health, Prince Wike. Oh, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's a good. Well, I think this is the time you now know who is who. If you ever wondered what your status is, you know, if you mattered, if you were, this is when you know if you are a stakeholder. You understand? There are 150,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccine. If you don't get one of these 150,000, you are not a stakeholder. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you say. You are not a stakeholder. This is the examination to determine if you are a stakeholder. Yes. If you matter. Yes. If your name rings bells. Yes. If you have mouth. If you have status. This is the time to know. This is the time to know. Because no doubt about it, honorables and excellencies, including those who gave themselves the title honorable, are going to be jostling. Well, there are those whose names automatically are going to be on the list. No doubt about that. I mean, His Excellency the Governor and his family, I suppose. Deputy Governor, family and close associates. members of the State Executive Council, I imagine, naturally, honorables in the State House of Assembly, their families and close associates and aides, I imagine, definitely. Local Government Council chairmen, deputies, their families and close aides, I suppose. Their names should be there as well, you know. So this is the time. This is the time when your clout will come to the fore. Oh, someone also said here by WhatsApp, and if you have structure, exactly. Oh yeah. This is the time to know if you're on ground. That's from WAO. Yeah, if you're on ground, as we say it. If you're on ground and you have structure. If you don't get COVID-19, but I don't care. You don't have structure. You're not anywhere if you don't get it. You know, but seriously speaking, it's a good thing. And if you get a chance to receive this vaccine now or at a later date in the future, please receive it. It's a responsible thing to do. All right, it doesn't matter what your papa may have erroneously said or even ridiculously said in the past. The vaccines are good. The reason you don't have polio right now very likely is because they got a vaccine as a child. Okay, so please get a vaccine. Get vaccinated. It's safe. The science says it's safe. Believe the science. Get vaccinated. Protect yourself. Protect others as well. Another message via WhatsApp says, and if you are a senior man, exactly. Yes, you are if you don't listen, if you don't show me, in fact, after the vaccines have been given out, I think there are going to be certificates, COVID-19 vaccine certificates issued to people or some documentation. So if you want to prove yourself that you are important, if you don't flash the card or whatever it is, that you are not anybody. You are going to sit down somewhere. If you hit someone on the road and you are saying, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? And you cannot flash your COVID-19 certificate. You are not anybody. Go and sit down somewhere. Go and find someone to sit down. Where's your COVID-19 vaccination card? You don't have to go and sit down. Sit down. You're just driving big jeep all over the place with Mopo. You don't have COVID-19 vaccine certificate. Go and sit down somewhere. Go and sit down somewhere. And once again, if you do get a chance to receive the vaccine now or later, please go ahead and receive it. All right. Let's see. So someone here via WhatsApp said, no vaccine for small boys. I'm telling you, if you're a small boy, there's no vaccine for you. At least not now, maybe later. Also, if you're on ground, yes, if you're on ground, you will get it. And if you thought you were on ground, but you are not on ground, actually, you will not get it. You know, some people could have thought they were on ground, but they will be shocked. It will choke them during this period when they are calling government house. They are calling the Ministry of Health, and the people in Ministry of Health are busy in their numbers. They are busy in their line. I'm telling you. So I've been calling the commissioner. I've been calling him since yesterday. He's not taking my calls. What is the meaning of this? Oh, guys, it's very simple. You don't matter. You're not on ground. You were thinking that on ground, but that thinking was obviously erroneous. So you understand? It was obviously erroneous. Someone says, why are you distracting me? Do you have COVID-19? Don't talk to me like that. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to out there. Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Don't. If you don't take, I will show you my certificate now. My COVID-19 certificate vaccine. You're trying me. Someone said vaccines will be shared based on voting strength and loyalty. Oh, that would be something, I suppose. Oh my, okay, I have to report the side comments now, but yeah, finally, I almost forgot. CP Eboka Friday, the versatile one, all right, someone says it's for well-meaning Rivers people. Oh, okay, well-meaning Rivers people. Oh, Dio, it was 75,000 people actually, not one. Oh, thank you very much for that. Okay, yeah, I think it's the AstraZeneca is the one. It's 2 shots. The vaccine is in 2 doses. You get 2 shots. So that's 75,000 people actually. All right. So that's 75,000 very important people in River State. If you don't make that list, you're not that important. Really, sadly, if you don't make it, you are not. If you don't make it, you are not that important. Really. Thank you for pointing that out. So, to the versatile one, CB Eboka Friday, the good people of Rivers State are still waiting for investigations on the yet-to-be-identified police officer attached to the Eagle Crack unit of the Rivers State Police Command who forgot his mobile phone in the car of a student he extorted 150,000 naira from on Tuesday. I think that was sometime around February. Was it February 25 or so, or thereabouts, I think. You know, the student in his final year at the University of Port Harcourt told newsmen that the police officer and his team extorted the money from him during a stop and search where they accused him and his friend of being fraudsters. He said he discovered the phone in his car when he got home. Pardon me. The student also said the police officers had threatened to shoot him if he refuses to give them the money they demanded before taking them to an ATM around the Koku area of Port Harcourt. So, CP Eboka Fridays, they said you're investigating this matter. What's going on here? Why haven't we heard the result of this investigation? The good people of Rivers State are waiting to find out what's going on in this matter, and we'll keep reminding you. Don't worry, we won't forget. We know you can forget because there are many things you are dealing with, and that's why we the good people of Rivers State will help you. We will help, because you see, police is we're all in this together. Security is not the job of any person. It's a collective effort, and we will play our roles by reminding you consistently of this matter until we hear something concrete, of course. And finally, in my capacity as a self-appointed senior special advisor, reminding the River State Governor, His Excellency of Critical Matters. Your Excellency, sir, what's happening with demonstration teachers of demonstration schools in River State? 5 years now, no salaries. Your Excellency, what's going on? Might I remind you that they have a subsisting court judgment ordering your government, to pay them? Let's pay them, Your Excellency. Let's pay them. Don't mind them. If they've not been loyal, don't mind them. Don't mind them. It is hunger that is stopping them, Your Excellency. You know, sometimes when you're hungry, you know, you may not be thinking well. So if the problem is that they have not been loyal, don't mind them, Your Excellency. Just give them. Just look away and give them. You know, after all, it's pocket change. Let's give it to them. Then also, let's fix our schools. Let's fix education, Your Excellency. Let's get the 10,000 teachers we need there, 4,000 non-teaching staff. Let's provide infrastructure. Let's provide toilets. Let's provide windows. Let's provide furniture, tables and desks. Let's chairs. Let's provide these things. Teaching aids, laboratories, chemicals, reagents, alkalines and beakers, Bunsen burners. Let's give our children an education. Flyovers will take us from one destination to another, like pardon me, like water lines or Eliozu, but education will take us to the future, which is way different. So that's that. I go for a break. When I return to this round comes up, please stay with us.
We give the facts.
News entirely.
We give the evidence. Just to keep you informed.
News, weather.
I get my information top of the hour every hour.
92.3 Nigeria Info.
What we do goes beyond bringing you the news. We give you a chance to talk about it. Your opinion, your voice.
This is 92.3 Nigeria Info, Port Harcourt.
Your number one news, talk, and sports radio station.
A clean surrounding is a collective effort.
Diseases could be avoided
With good hygiene practice, be more responsible with how you dispose waste products. The environment will be better looking without litter and exposed garbage. We love our city clean. This message is from 92.3 Nigeria Info.
To thrive in a fast-changing world.
Tune in to 92.3 Nigeria Info for the best of news, talk and sports 24/7. facts. Hard facts with Dayo.
Welcome back. It is Hard Factor 90.3 Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt and Dial. And I'd like to run for just a bit. I've got something in my mind. I've expressed some thoughts in it. And you're welcome to express your thoughts and my thoughts all the way till 4 p.m. If you are a keen observer, as I suppose I am, if you're a keen observer of politics and politicking and politicians in Nigeria, you must by now, even before now, have observed a trend. And that's why they are so easy to predict. You can hardly go wrong in trying to predict the next steps of politicians in Nigeria. You can hardly go wrong. It's a sure bet, really. It kind of makes me wish the betting companies were taking bets on what a Nigerian politician will do, because I'd be cashing out every single day. I would be cashing out, really. You don't have to think too hard to predict what their step. There is a trend. You just go back in time. Okay, what did this man do when this man did this? This person, what did they do when this other person did this? And then you can just go through the time space, and you will see the same actions playing out over and over consistently. They never fail to deliver. They are consistent. I mean, at least you can give them that. Nigerian politicians are consistent. Is that consistency a good thing in their case, in this context? Well, we can have that conversation some other time. But give it to them, they are consistent. And one of the things that they do, one very obvious consistency or trend with Nigerian politicians is they like to major in the minor. They do a great deal of that, majoring in the minor. Distraction. Taking people's eyes, the citizens, the so-called masses, the so-called ordinary Nigerians, taking their eyes off the ball, off the things that matter, distracting them with drama. So, the people focus on the drama, they focus on the distractions, and then the conversation now centers on the drama and the distractions and the things that actually have substance, the things that would actually determine the lives of the people, the future, the things that their lives are dependent on are completely left unattended to because they are overtaken by the drama and the distractions and the shenanigans that's playing out. And then, for example, when elections come, rather than talk about policies, rather than talk about structures, rather than talk about systems, rather than talk about governance, rather than talk about implementation, rather than talk about accountability, those discussions don't come up. And people are not asking questions about that. Rather, they're asking questions about personalities, about this person, about that person. See how I talk to that person. See how this one respond to that person. This guy is on ground though. See how he's vibrating. See how he's as if vibrating, as if one person vibrating is going to ensure your children can go to a good school tomorrow. As if how one person vibrated back can determine if you get quality health care. As if one person shouting or how long he shouted for in front of cameras is going to determine if you can afford to live in a good environment, if you can have security. As if shouting and vibrating is going to ensure that we reduce poverty and we increase jobs. Because vibrating and shouting and showing that you have structure does not affect any of those things. But like I said, it's the trend. They never miss it. They always follow through with it. And I suspect that we are on that path once again. I suspect strongly that our political gladiators are at it again. They may be starting a little early this time around, but it is the same mechanism, it is the same system, it's the same tool all over again, designed in my estimation to simply distract and take away from the substance of the issues and make people focus on vibration. And how is vibrating? See I naka. See I tell her. I just talk to her like that. Man. Pardon me. And here we are again in Rivers State. Now this is from our bulletin. The rift between Governor Wike and the Minister of Transportation, Chibuike Amaechi, seems to have been renewed. Now, this is as Governor Wike took a swipe at Mr. Amaechi over his comment on a live television program that he speaks intelligently because it does not take alcohol. The governor spoke during the commissioning. The governor spoke during the commission of Omokiri Omoko Umuwechi Alu Road. Let's say what His Excellency had to say during that event.
Going forward into the future.
Pardon me, that's not the one.
This morning, I was watching Kakaki, and I heard somebody, they said is a minister, was talking, and he said, you don't take alcohol, but you can take 10 cans of horsepower. What can be more alcohol than that? People should stop talking anyhow in the public. If the way you are behaving, then you drink, what will happen? A minister of the Federal Republic will come and tell Nigeria that he does not drink. What business is that? I went to the University of Port Harcourt, I never repeated a class. I finished, I went to do my youth service in former Gongola State. I came back, I went to the University to read law. I didn't repeat. I went to law school, I finished. I've never read law for 16 years. I never did that. And people should stop talking.
Quite frankly, I'm not sure that Rivers people, I'm not sure it matters most to Rivers people which of them drinks alcohol or which of them does not drink alcohol, or how many bottles or cans of what brand, be it alcohol or energy drink, each of them can drink or cannot drink, or who can drink more between the both of them. I'm not sure that's going to affect infrastructure, affect healthcare, affect education, affect security, affect job creation in any way in Rivers State. Governor Wike also accused Amaechi's administration of embezzling funds from the sale of state property.
You just think because people gave you opportunity, sold our properties, everything, and people are talking in this state because of the government that says they're fighting.
The APC-led federal government has not made any impact in the state, adding that the road has moved beyond the construction of a narrow railway gauge.
I had people who came to River State to flag off narrow gauge. Why would the world is talking about standard gauge? What are giving River State narrow gauge? Because I challenge them. Show us what you've done for the people of the state. So what they will do is to come and say, okay, since you are complaining, let's come and give you back that narrow gauge. Instead of giving us the standard gauge to Medigo. And they're making us about it. River State, the state that they use their money to produce their president towards the end of the administration, what they will come and tell us to have a narrow gauge.
Well, maybe Your Excellency is right that the narrow gauge does not meet up with international best standards at the moment, and the road has moved beyond that, and we could have that conversation. I think it's a valid conversation, but we could also have a conversation about the nature of the flyovers that we're having in River State right now, as to really, because the road has moved over, has also moved away from. Some people call them overhead bridges. The road has kind of moved away from that right now into something a bit more, something that is more, it's a bit more detailed. Now you might remember that the Minister of Transportation, Chibuike Amaechi, criticized Governor Wike's response to the flag off of the Port Harcourt Maiduguri narrow gauge railway on Tuesday. Here's what he said.
When you make a statement, millions of Nigerians depend on that statement. I am not garrulous in that nature. I speak intelligently, knowing that when I speak, it matters. I don't drink alcohol, so I don't speak out of my sense. Go back to all my statements as a governor. Not even if I gotten up and say, oh, one small boy is criticizing me as a governor. He's from so and so village. Damn you. Do you think I don't see what people talk about me? That's why I say I'm a thoroughbred of University of Port Harcourt.
Okay. All right. So here we go again. Here we go again. And the danger here is between now and 2023 elections, the conversation in Rivers State is simply going to center on these two individuals. About how this one naka, how this one visa, how this one those vibrate for her like that. So if you try her, no, that can't be the I mean, this is two fighting. It's as simple as that. If you were walking or driving along Rumokoro and you saw two guys fighting there, you would not give it too much of a thought, because it doesn't in any way affect your life. It doesn't in any way improve your life in any way. So I would like to enjoin as many persons as possible to simply think of this as that as well. It is two fighting. And who drinks more? If somebody has embezzled money, I'm sure that there are processes the state can employ to ensure either the person returns the money or the person even serves jail time. That can be done. If somebody doesn't drink more than the other person, that's fine. If somebody went to Uniport and somebody went somewhere else and they repeat school, that's all well and good. But these things do not in any way contribute anything meaningful to people's lives. Now, whilst I am not attempting to stop two from fighting, because two can fight. In fact, as I'm speaking right now, two are fighting somewhere, obviously. In fact, many twos are fighting in different parts of the state or even the country at this time. But today's rant is a reminder to the people, whether in Rivers State or any other part of the country, to not get distracted from what the real issues are. Two fighting and vibration does not add anything to improving the quality of your lives. Focus on the things that matter, because two will always fight. On that note, I end my rant. Thanks for listening. Hope I didn't bore you. I don't know why. I have a terrible cough right now. So, any thoughts in mind, by the way, let's hear it. Numbers are the same, lines are open. We got 0817 923 0002 or 0003. That is 0817 923 0007 or 0009. Keep it brief, concise, straight to the point. And once a call is answered, please turn down the volume of your radio set. We're live on Twitter at Nigeria Info PH, facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH also. Hello, Hardfact, welcome.
Yeah, Dayo, good afternoon.
All right, go ahead.
I just want to talk to our politicians. In fact, to my own good governor and now a minister of transportation, I will say he has to control his arsenal. He has to control his bombs. Imagine the bombs that come out of him has actually bring out the drunkenness from the governor.
Hello,
so please,
hello.
Yes.
You must take that statement, that word back.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, and that's too much. And that's too much that I will take from you. Moving on. Hello, Hard Factor, welcome. 913. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, Dayo.
Hi. You're welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I see here is the governor of Rivers State have said that they will not complete the narrow gate and the deep port of money that next year is coming. So they said they have started already. And the governor of Rivers State is angry because he knows that all these things they are doing now, both him and the federal government, is for political reasons. What they will use in campaign coming next year. So he's angry because he has seen that the federal government use all these things as a campaign in Rivers State in other states, both of them to complete it. Likewise in also. So they are talking their own business. After electing, talk about something that is meaningful to employ teachers, just like I say, to pay demonstration teachers, just like I say. They should stop the sitting on in all this social media. That's what I think. I remain Mr. Todd.
All right, hello, 913.
Yeah, Dayo, good afternoon.
Hello, go ahead. Hello.
Hello, Dayo, good afternoon.
You're welcome, go on.
Yeah, it's Samuel. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Go ahead. Turn the volume down. Turn the volume down. Hello, Hot Factor, welcome. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Hello, go on.
Now, this is not what we want to hear at River State now. What we want to hear at River State to fix our primary schools, fix our health centers. Whether corruption or no corruption, the governor should go to in the Lemon House 2. This is those schools that children are using blocks to sit down. That's what we want to hear. But not coming to tell us that this person does not drink or does not drink. We want employment. We want people to be employed. They want headquarters to employ for River State. Thank you, Dayo.
You're welcome. Hello?
Yeah, Dayo, good evening.
You're welcome, go on.
I think the best advice I have is for you. Okay. Because after 2023, the man from Sokoto will come and say to two of them. They will not say it is in media. That what they are doing now is just, remember what just happened between the man from Kogi State. So at the end, we say the Dayo of Nigerian people actually caused this problem. Because what they are doing is just a kind of, it's a friendly, so just be very careful. Because by 2023, the man from Sokoto will now come and reconcile two of them